Well, what's going on in the world of woo? People like Ben Emlyn-Jones will say, "Oh, there's a huge difference in the way that people are talking about aliens, ET, and UFOs these days compared to how they talked about it in the past." Well, looks like maybe not. British politician steps down over alien claims. Now, this is from the Unexplained Mysteries website, and it says here, Jill Hughes dropped out of the election race after it came to light that she had previously claimed to be an alien. It seems that believing in aliens can harm your chances of a career in politics. Yeah, okay. Well, actually, she's from up in Yorkshire, I think, isn't she? Yes, the Brexit Party's parliamentary candidate for the Yorkshire constituency of Batley and Spen, Hughes, had been a relative unknown until an investigation revealed some interesting facts about her. An aspiring author, she'd previously written a novel, Spirit of Prophecy, about a psychic detective. While this wouldn't really have raised any eyebrows on its own, her Amazon biography reads, to this day, J.J. Hughes believes in elves, fairies, mermaids, unicorns, and all things elemental and otherworldly. She's had numerous prophetic premonitions, usually about death. Certainly, she should have had a premonition about her political death, I would think. Which, so far, despite a few close shaves, she's escaped. She came to believe in reincarnation in her mid-20s. When her old horse, Red, made a reappearance, this time as a palomino called Hooray Henry. Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen, what's her name, Jill Hughes, being interviewed on the Ben Emlyn-Jones channel. Oh dear, let's just have a look at the bit down here. Perhaps most notably of all, however, she also reportedly wrote, "I've just come to truly realise that my purpose is to raise consciousness here on Earth." Does this sound familiar? I originated from Sirius. She cannot be serious. Yes, well, bang goes her political career. So that was, Simon Parks. She's from Yorkshire. I think Simon Parks is from up that way as well, isn't he? And I think he stepped down as well. He said it was all voluntary and people voted for him after he said he was, after he produced his crayon drawings of his aliens. But, Parks was a councillor, so they don't actually have a salary, councillors, unlike members of Parliament. She's a Brexit Party parliamentary candidate. She would have been a member of Parliament and she would have received quite a decent salary for that, whereas Parks would have been completely voluntary. I think councillors work on expenses only. So anyway, that's about it. I've had a bit of a look around. There's some strange trumpeting noises being heard in Norway, I think. Something like that. Somewhere up that way. Usual sort of stuff. Nothing compelling really. Ben Emlyn-Jones has even done a review on a film that's about 50 or 60 years old, I think, maybe even older. It's a Wonderful Life. There's probably been a review or two written on that, I would think, over the last 60 years since he came out. Was it 80 years? It's black and white with James Stewart in it, so it might have been done in the 1940s. Good heavens. And what else is going on? Not very much. There's the usual reincarnation nonsense on Neil Peel's channel. People having fanciful encounters with aliens, Sasha, Christie and co. Don't believe a word of that. Secret space program whistleblowers that can do no better than produce crayon drawings. Yes. And of course, Miles Johnson is spruiking this suppressed Tesla technology, which of course is absolute nonsense. If you put any money into that, I guarantee that'll be the last you see of your money. You're never going to see something generating electricity out of thin air. Not possible. It's never going to happen, and you're certainly never going to see it flying around. So before you put your hand in your pocket and decide to put any money in that particular pot, Google Eric P. Dollard, one of the people tied up with this free energy nonsense, has been peddling it for decades, lives in a car out in the desert. That's how real it is. And he'd be a multi-millionaire, of course. Or he'd certainly be living in a house powered by free energy if it were at all possible. Miles Johnston tells us that everything you learn at university about electricity and electronics is rubbish. You're being conned. Yet, of course, engineers are taught in university all the time, all over the world, and they go out into the real world and they design equipment. Design equipment and systems using all the formulas that they were taught at university. So they obviously work, don't they? So we shouldn't really believe these hacks like Maxwell and Voltaire and Ampere and Einstein. What do they know about it, really? We should believe an electrician who's discovered something that's been suppressed. Well, it hasn't been suppressed, of course. All this information has been freely available for the last 100 or so years. And certainly if there was anything to it, it would have been spotted before now. Of course, what I was going to say was, of course, all the stuff you're taught at university about how to calculate all this stuff with regard, electrical systems and electronics and all that sort of stuff seems to work, doesn't it? All those calculations work. You can design something, you can use that math, build it, and it will work. So it can't be bunkum, can it? None of it works. Whereas there is no math, and they've produced no math to show exactly how this free energy device is going to work, sitting there running on thin air. And it's going to fly around as well, of course. So should be lots of very interesting math to prove that claim. Haven't seen any, have you? So do yourself a favour, steer well clear of putting any money into any free energy projects. They are all a scam, especially if it's suppressed Tesla technology. As soon as someone says it's suppressed Tesla technology, that is a huge red flag. If you Google the people that are involved, you will find that they've been doing it for years and years. They go from one thing to another, to another, to another. It's all about free energy and all this sort of stuff. And they've been doing it for decades, and they've been living off other people's money for decades. They're always on the cusp of producing something that they can release to the world. But it never happens. They always need just a bit more of your money to make it happen. And of course, it never does, because it's not possible. It just isn't possible. Okay, well, you can, if they're still around in a few years' time, you can look at my video and you can look at Miles's video, and you can see which one of us is right. See how many free energy machines producing 20 kilowatts of power out of thin air there are around. All right, well, this is only a very quick one. I've been pretty busy, don't have a great deal of time, but I've just had a quick look around the woo-woos, around the woo-woo channels, just to see what's going on. I hadn't had a look at Unexplained Mysteries for ages, and this just caught my eye. I thought it was rather amusing. So I just do a very quick video. I very much doubt I'll be doing anything else before Christmas, maybe not even the New Year, depending on how things go, how busy I am, etc., etc., etc. over the holiday period. So I'll just take this opportunity to say thank you very much indeed for supporting the channel for the last 12 months and being a part of it, leaving your comments and all that sort of stuff. And I do apologise if you've left comments and I haven't got back to you, because sometimes the comments don't work properly. They'll appear in my notifications and I can see what video they're for, but I can't read all of it in the notification, and when I go to the video the comment's not there, so I don't quite know what's going on with that. But I'm not ignoring you. So hope you all have a really enjoyable Christmas. And if you're having big family get-togethers, that No one ends up in jail, you know, accused of murder. And no one gets fleeced, of course, and from the long lost cousin that you know comes round and gives you the hard luck story. So anyway, just to putting that aside, have a great Christmas. And if I don't do another video before the new year, all the very best for 2020, a new decade, starting a new decade. Let's hope some of the woo-woos can find some integrity. Their new year resolution, or their new decade resolution, it should be something like, why don't we actually try telling the truth rather than just claiming we're telling the truth? You know, because the truth movement, of course, is nothing like the truth. Should be the nothing like the truth movement. So why don't these people just find a bit of integrity? They should make a New Year's resolution to look in the mirror, take a long, hard look at themselves, see if they can just reach down deep inside and find a bit of integrity and start telling the truth and leaving out all the embellishments, the downright lies, the scams. You know, if you need money, get a bloody job. Don't rip people off. People are putting money in the pot that probably can't afford to put money in the pot very easily, you know, and it's all going on booze and car repairs. You know, everybody knows, everyone with an IQ bigger than their shoe size knows that. Where it isn't going is into any of these bloody free energy machines. No such thing, it's not possible. Save your money. Okay, with that little look at woo and the Yuletide felicitations, I'll say again, thanks very much indeed for supporting the channel. Have a great time over Christmas. All the very best for 2020. And maybe I'll catch you again.